Right, and that is a couple minutes past the hour, so we will go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for University of Western State's Doctor of Naturopathic Medicine Admissions webinar. My name is Lissa, and I'm an admissions counselor for our NMD program, which is the common way you will see our naturopathic medicine program abbreviated. Today's webinar is going to give you an overview of our NMD program. We are going to go over a lot of information in the following slides, but I always really encourage anyone who may be interested in learning more to reach out to our office for additional information and to get connected with an admissions counselor who can walk you through exactly what the process will look like for you. We will be answering some general questions throughout the presentation and then a frequently asked questions section at the end. So I encourage you to submit questions in the Q&A chat towards the end of our presentation today, since we will cover a lot of great information. Go ahead and go over to the next slide. Perfect. So here's the schedule for today's event. We anticipate that this webinar is going to run around half an hour long. We may have some time for questions today, like I mentioned, but we may also be cutting it a little bit close. So just in case, please do see the Q&A function at the bottom of your Zoom screen. If you leave a question, be sure to include your name. That way we will be able to follow up with you and answer your question, even if we don't do it during today's meeting. We're also going to send out a copy of this webinar afterwards for everyone who is registered for the event. It will also be recorded and uploaded to UWS's website if you'd like to watch it later, or for prospective students who were not able to attend live today. All right, perfect. So we will dive into just kind of a brief history of UWS as an institution. UWS itself has had a long history at the forefront of health and wellness in the Pacific Northwest. In fact, with our founding in 1904 in Portland, Oregon, UWS is the second oldest chiropractic college in the world. As we grew from those origins, we integrated other areas of health into our programming and curriculum, including a naturopathic medicine program for the first time in 1923. As UWS continues to grow, we have added several online master's degrees in areas such as sports medicine, nutrition, and functional medicine, clinical mental health counseling, and sports psychology. Our Doctor of Naturopathic Medicine program itself relaunched last year, and we welcomed our inaugural class in October 2023, exactly 100 years after our original naturopathic medicine program got started. We offer an exciting curriculum complete with Institute of Functional Medicine coursework. To cap it all off, our NMD program is located on our state-of-the-art Portland campus and has a patient-oriented functional medicine focus. Excellent. Okay, so getting into kind of why you might choose naturopathic medicine specifically at UWS, I would really keep in mind that UWS's NMD program has a strong focus on research-based, evidence-informed naturopathic medicine. Functional medicine concepts are also woven throughout the naturopathic medicine program, so preparing students to apply these concepts in practice. The degree to which these concepts are integrated directly into the program really differentiates us from other naturopathic programs. We have done this through a unique curricular partnership with the Institute for Functional Medicine, which results in students being prepared for the IFM's practitioner certification after graduation and procuring licensure. All right, just to give you a brief bio on our director of the naturopathic program and the dean of the College of Naturopathic Medicine. That is going to be Dr. Marcia Pren-Guber. Dr. P has an extensive background in naturopathic medical education as well as in academic administration. She has served on several national naturopathic and integrative medical organizations, such as the North American Board of Naturopathic Examiners Advisory Council, as well as a founding member of the Naturopathic Postgraduate Association, an executive committee member of the Connecticut Naturopathic Physician Association, and as former president of the Council on Naturopathic Medicine Education, which is the United States Department of Education's recognized programmatic accrediting body for naturopathic medical schools in North America. As you can see from this slide, she also has extensive experience in oncological naturopathic healthcare, Overall, Dr. P is an exciting and invested addition to UWS's faculty. All right. Moving forward, let's kind of review what naturopathic medicine is at its core. So, naturopathic medicine is a distinct healthcare profession that combines the wisdom of nature with the rigors of modern science. Naturopathic doctors, abbreviated as NDs or NMDs, are trained as primary care providers who diagnose, treat, and manage the healthcare of patients with both acute and chronic conditions while addressing health, disease, and dysfunction at the level of body, mind, and spirit. Right, and then also kind of get into what is functional medicine. And we'll dive into that by thinking about functional medicine as a healthcare framework that aims to determine how and why illnesses occur and to restore health by addressing the root causes of disease for each individual. The functional medicine model is an individualized, patient-centered, and science-based approach that really empowers patients and practitioners to work together to address the underlying causes of disease and to promote optimal wellness. It requires a detailed understanding of each patient's genetic, biochemical, and lifestyle factors, as well as then leverages that data to direct personalized treatment plans that really lead to improved patient outcomes. Another way to think about it, if it might help to have a little bit of a kind of metaphor, is to think about a house with a leaky roof. In a crisis, you might kind of put down a bucket to catch the water falling through that roof. However, that really is not a long-term solution, and it also doesn't get to the root of the problem or what might be causing the leaks. Functional medicine really aims not to just catch the water or to cover the symptoms. It is kind of aimed at uncovering their causes by getting on a ladder, taking a deeper look at the roof, and seeing what combination of factors might be contributing to that leak. Has a branch fallen through? Is a raccoon knocking around up there? Are the shingles kind of decayed? Basically, functional medicine wants to take an in-depth look at all of the factors potentially impacting health or illness and to make adjustments, diagnoses, and treatments based on kind of these whole person considerations and assessments. Perfect. And we'll get into kind of some of the differences between licensed naturopathic physicians and unlicensed naturopaths, as well as some info on the training of naturopathic physicians. So naturopathic physicians are trained in Council on Naturopathic Medicine Education accredited programs, which include the following. You'll be trained as a primary care physician to diagnose, assess, treat, and manage the healthcare of your patients, with the potential to be licensed in jurisdictions that offer ND or NMD licensure or registration. There also are requirements for certain hours and program content, as well as certain hands-on clinical experiences, clinical hours, and patient contact hours. And then finally, in licensed jurisdictions, these kind of programs can prepare graduates to utilize a variety of payment structures, including private insurance and Medicaid. As you can see, there are some significant differences between scope and practice for unlicensed versus licensed practitioners. If you'd like to know more about kind of the ins and outs of naturopathic medicine and what that field looks like, I really encourage you to reach out to the admissions office to get some more good initial information and potentially to be connected with Dr. Prenguber, who is always more than happy to kind of use her expertise to support our prospective students. Excellent. And then we'll get into kind of overviewing the program and its curriculum as a whole. As I've mentioned, our NMD program is going to take place on campus in Portland, Oregon. Students may wish to kind of live in Portland proper or in one of its surrounding suburbs. To that point, Portland has many kind of interesting neighborhoods and surrounding suburban areas, all of which bring a really unique vibe and can feel very different. Ultimately, where you'd like to live within or just outside the city comes down to your own preferences or budget. But overall, Portland as a city provides a great background for students with excellent food and beautiful natural areas in the surrounding area. Students will predominantly be on campus for coursework, so thinking about kind of getting those hands-on skills. But you might have some courses or some part of your courses online. Importantly, clinical rotations will be in person, so you are getting that hands-on experience, like I mentioned. Excellent. And then just kind of thinking about the community within the NMD program and as the field at large, our NMD program community at UWS come from a lot of different backgrounds. We have students from all over the world and in many different phases of their careers. For some, starting our program is the first step down their path to a health science career, whereas for others, they may have been in healthcare for years within the field and are looking to add more or different lenses to their practice. Our instructors and faculty for the program are just as varied. They have previous experience in chiropractic, nutrition, medicine, and many other fields, as they really have a deep and interdisciplinary well of knowledge to pull from, as well as being kind of very clinical experience as a whole. We really encourage strong relationships between instructors and students at UWS, as well as continued dialogue as students explore nutrition and the scientific world through discussion, research, and lectures. Excellent. Okay, getting into the structure a little bit, definitely want to make sure you guys are able to get some info on that. As the time on campus is just one aspect of the overall NMD curriculum, I would say for every unit of credit to plan to have 3 hours of in-class instruction or at-home study. The program as a whole spans 14 quarters, with each quarter being 11 weeks long, and students having typically 2-week breaks in between quarters. You can expect to be on campus roughly 35 to 40 hours per week, so you do want to keep in mind that this is a rigorous full-time program. Excellent. Okay. And then just wanted to give you guys kind of a draft outline of the Doctor of Naturopathic program curriculum. Like I mentioned, this is currently a draft, which will be continuously developed and firmed up as our current NMD students get further into the program. As keep in mind, this is subject to change, but it is a great tool for kind of looking at a pick list of classes that you might be taking in the areas that you may be studying. This outline is also available online through the 2024-2025 academic catalog. So please feel welcome to reference that after the webinar and to check it for any updates or addenda. And then going on to kind of the next slide to just take a look at the second half of that curriculum. You'll be able to see after kind of looking at it as a whole, both the first and second halves, that the curriculum starts with the basic and clinical sciences and then slowly builds upon that initial scientific foundation towards diagnostic and therapeutic courses, specialties in topics like pediatrics, oncology, and rheumatology, as well as clinical rotations and grand rounds. Of naturopathic medicine's transfer policy, as well as procuring syllabi from your previous master's or doctoral program to assess how well your previous coursework fits within UWS's NMD program. As outlined here, a full-time advanced standing schedule is not yet set. The healthcare practitioners are welcome to work in their profession in the Portland area while starting the NMD program part-time until a full-time schedule is made available to such students. Perfect. Okay, this is kind of an exciting area to cover. Another aspect of our curriculum in campus is our anatomical science building, located just 10 minutes of our main campus, or excuse me, 10 minutes away from our main campus. This is the location of our cadaver labs. Students rotate in a kind of round robin style between stations to get hands-on experience, particularly learning the ins and outs of the body. You can see that there are televisions on the wall that will allow for the integration of technology in the lab, including the broadcasting of pro sections on the in-class screens to ensure that students will have an easy time kind of following along with the instructors who are prosecting cadavers. We also have SINDavers on our main campus, which is a really great student resource. Those are going to be synthetic cadavers designed so that you can continue detailed anatomical study, but without always having to be at the anatomical sciences building or working directly with cadavers. Go ahead to the next slide. Perfect. Okay, so here is just a quick map between the two buildings. The main campus is towards the west here on Tillamook Street, whereas the Anatomical Sciences building is just a quick 10-minute drive east to 132nd Avenue. Right. Okay. This right here is going to be an outline of the benefits of IFM certification for naturopathic doctors. As students who graduate from UWS's NMD program and become licensed are qualified to sit for the Institute for Functional Medicine's Certified Practitioner exam. They will still need to complete the case study required towards that certification, but the NMD coursework covers all 7 courses required to sit for IFMCP examination. And you can find more details about this certification directly on the IFM site. There is some additional information on the NMD UWS site as well. And you can always get some initial information by starting a conversation with your admissions counselor too. You can go ahead to the next slide. Perfect. Okay. Now, here are the prerequisite requirements for the NMD program. A bachelor's degree with a 3.0 GPA or higher is preferred, but the real hard requirement is for 90 semester credits or 135 quarter credits with that same 3.0 GPA. The coursework reflects 3 years of college level courses, and you can keep in mind that students who enter without a bachelor's degree may be eligible to earn a bachelor's degree in human biology concurrently during the course of their naturopathic medicine doctoral program. To get to the specifics of the prerequisite requirements, we will need to see 24 semester credits in the life and physical sciences, and then these specific credit counts are in the areas of biology, chemistry, psychology, and physics. You'll note that the biology and chemistry courses must have lab classes and that prerequisite courses need to be passed with a C or higher in order to count towards the prerequisites. Additionally, the biology and chemistry courses must have been taken within the last 7 years in order to count towards the prerequisites. All right, and then just to continue on to some additional prerequisite information, here's just a quick pick list of courses commonly used towards the various prerequisite coursework areas. I always really encourage students to reach out to their admissions counselor directly for a helpful prerequisite evaluation and to ensure that any prerequisite courses you are considering taking will be usable towards the NMD program's prerequisites. Okay, so just to talk through some prerequisite completion options for students who are in need of additional prerequisite courses, UWS recommends utilizing local colleges or universities or some convenient online options, including all of those listed, especially Portage Learning and Straighterline are ones we frequently recommend. Again, you could really reach out to your admissions counselor to learn more about these options and which ones might specifically be a good fit for you or any prerequisites that you might be looking to cover. Perfect. Okay. We will talk through the typical course structure in the NMD program. Regarding that structure, UWS really invites students to learn in several ways. It makes a lot of different assignment types available to keep students engaged. Students are often assigned weekly readings and lectures, as well as weekly discussion forums. In addition, excuse me, UWS's expansive online and in-person library is also going to be able to kind of support you through discussions, findings, and exchanges of ideas within your classes and your cohort. And then finally, learning may be assessed through papers, projects, and exams as well. In each course's 11th week, so your last week of classes each quarter, you'll complete the course with a final exam for that course. Perfect. Okay. And this is really a great section of our presentation today to get into some of the most frequently asked questions for the program. A great one is, can I apply before completing all of my prerequisites? And that is a solid yes. Prerequisites are going to be due 6 weeks prior to the start of each term. So late August for a fall 2024 start. And classes for that fall start will start on October 7th this year. Another good one, my science classes are more than 7 years old. Can I still apply? The answer is another solid yes, but you may need to update any science courses completed more than 7 years prior to starting the program. Like I've mentioned, if you'd like to go ahead and send over some unofficial transcripts to admissions, we can really support you through finding exactly what you need to fill in the gaps and to become eligible for the program. Another great one, I am a practicing chiropractor. Will I have advanced standing in UWS's NMD program? The answer is a solid, most likely yes. Chiropractors and healthcare providers in other disciplines, like we previously discussed, will need to submit their transcripts for an initial evaluation. The review of your transcript, syllabi, and course catalog will determine ultimately how much time it will take you to complete the NMD degree. Then do current DC students or Doctor of Chiropractic students at UWS also have advanced standing? That is another yes. DC students enrolled currently at UWS will also have that advanced standing. Like I kind of have mentioned, for other advanced standing cases, it'll depend on exactly where you're falling in the program, what the length of completion for the NMD will look like for you. We're always happy to talk through that with you in the admissions office. And then the last one for this particular slide, I would like to transfer to the UWS NMD program. What does that process look like? So transfer students, much like other advanced standing students, will need to submit their transcripts, syllabi, and course catalog for evaluation. Transfer credit will be awarded on a case-by-case basis, and advanced placement in the NMD program will be determined after that thorough evaluation. All right, go to the next section. Excellent. Okay. Perfect. And then just a few other frequently asked questions on the NMD program. Is UWS's NMD program accredited by the Council on Naturopathic Medical Examination? One thing to kind of keep in mind about accreditation in higher education is there are different forms to that. So UWS is institutionally accredited by the Northwest Commission on Colleges and Universities, whereas that Council on Naturopathic Medical Education is going to be a programmatic accreditor specifically for naturopathic medical education programs. That programmatic accreditation process is a multi-step one. The first two are kind of gaining eligibility status and then writing a self-study towards candidacy status. We are currently in the process of writing that self-study as a part of that application process for candidacy, with plans for a site visit by that programmatic accreditor by the end of this year. And then just kind of thinking about what it might look like moving forward and what the overall process for programmatic accreditation for naturopathic programs looks like. Approval by the CNME of a program with the candidate step allows students to sit for the licensing exams and to potentially obtain license or registration in the kind of jurisdiction and how that looks for your particular state of practice. Achieving that final step requires the program to have completed the first two steps and to have students enrolled in the clinical aspect of the program. There are some timelines to take into consideration with that. We have pursued all of the steps that we can till this point and are looking forward to continuing that process. Another quick question, can I take kind of classes from home? Is it necessary for me to move to Portland for the NMD program? That is going to be a yes, it will be necessary. Our NMD program is preparing you to become a naturopathic physician serving in a primary care kind of physician role. So the program requires you to be on campus for both lecture courses, labs, and clinical rotations. As kind of alluded to earlier, there may be some courses offered online, either in part or in whole, but overall students must be on campus starting within their very first quarter and should plan to spend about 35 to 40 hours per week on that campus. And then finally, can I work full-time or part-time while in the NMD program? And are there weekend or evening courses? Part-time work may be possible. However, you should keep in mind that full-time work plus a full-time in-person program will be quite difficult to achieve, and it is not recommended. This really is an in-person, very rigorous program where you're building up a very strong foundation of basic sciences and clinical skills. So you do want to keep in in mind the time commitment that will come with that. And then finally, classes are offered Monday through Friday, and your clinical rotations may include Saturdays, just so you kind of have in mind what things may look like when you're thinking about scheduling for the program. Perfect. Okay. We will get into some funding and financial aid information. The NMD program is eligible for federal student aid. You can apply for this aid by submitting the current FAFSA with UWS's school code. As an admitted student, your financial aid will be packaged and then made available to you through your UWS portal. International students can connect with UWS's financial aid team or with international application specialists on the UWS admissions team to learn a little bit more about the process for international aid applications and funding. And then finally, to outline tuition, the flat per quarter rate of tuition for the NMD program is going to be $10,485 per quarter. To refresh on the program length, there are 14 quarters in total for a length of 3.5 calendar years, and your tuition will include all of the IFM coursework that is built into the NMD program. Perfect. Okay, just kind of thinking about your return on investment and what a career in the field of naturopathic medicine may look like. For most naturopathic doctors, they practice in private clinics rather than in public hospitals or emergency rooms. This really helps contribute to an excellent quality of life for practitioners who often report high career satisfaction as naturopathic doctors. For some naturopathic doctors, they may choose to open their own private practices. Those who do this also set their own hours, choose their own location, and choose where they focus their time and efforts week over week. We will also help you lay the groundwork for possible future employment through our clinical rotations, but there are also multiple business courses built into the curriculum for students who may be wanting to eventually start their own practices. Once graduated and certified as an IFM practitioner as well, you'll have the opportunity to be listed in the IFM's practitioner search engine, which currently gets over 1 million hits per year. It's just a little bit of information on kind of the business side of things, marketing, and the kind of quality of life you can expect as a naturopathic physician. Perfect. Okay, just to get into the kind of timeline for applying, our fall 2024 application is currently open. We recommend applying about 3 to 6 months in advance of your intended start term to ensure that you have plenty of time to finish all prerequisite courses prior to starting your term. If you are ready to apply to University of Western States and our Doctor of Naturopathic Medicine program, we highly recommend, as I've iterated several times, to go ahead and connect with your admissions advisor for an advising call. We will be able to help you determine whether or not UWS is the right fit for you and your goals, as well as to go kind of all the way through the process of preparing you for enrollment in your intended term. Submitted applications require a $50 application fee. These short entrance essays outlined above about your goals and experiences, and then a concrete plan in place for any missing prerequisites. Just a few more kind of admissions requirements to talk through on the following slide. Perfect. Okay. All right. The first of these will be submitting transcripts. As is outlined here, we require official transcripts from each and every institution previously attended for credit, as well as 2 formal letters of recommendation meeting the specifications outlined above, and a personal interview with a member of the NMD faculty. Admitted students will be able to confirm their spot in our cohort by submitting a tuition deposit, which just goes straight right into your first term's cost of attendance. Excellent. Okay. We are getting close to the end here, folks. For next steps, if you are ready to take those towards your degree at UWS, we really recommend exploring our website at uws.edu, as well as, like I mentioned, reaching out to our admissions office to schedule an advising appointment. Most students find it helpful to reach out, like I mentioned, at least 6 months before the start of their program. And then all applications for the NMD program for the fall 2024 term are due August 23rd for the October 2024 start date. One other thing that you might kind of be thinking about to get yourself prepared to apply, enroll, or maybe just dig into the program a little deeper and see what it feels like to be on campus, is to schedule a tour of that campus. We offer weekday afternoon tours should you desire to visit campus outside of any scheduled campus events. You can scan the QR code here to schedule a campus visit. We'll pause briefly if you'd like to scan that. And you can also always refer to this webinar once it is posted to UWS's website. Okay, and then we'll just make some room for any questions here. But mostly, thank you so much for attending today's webinar on the Doctor of Naturopathic Medicine program at University of Western State. If you do have any questions, please check out our NMD FAQ page online. Explore the UWS website at large to learn more about admissions information and all the different processes there. And please do reach out directly to admissions for more information. We really are excited to help you potentially become a leader in a nutrition-focused, whole person approach to healthcare. And I hope all of those here have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for bearing with us. Let me see if we do have any questions in the chat. I can sit for a couple minutes just to see if anything comes through or if there was anything not addressed by our FAQ. I'm not seeing any additional questions. As we will go ahead and close out for the day, thank you so much again for your time, and our admissions office really looks forward to connecting with you soon. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.